Hi there, I'm Jill Allen, and this is Find Your Fierce, the show designed for women to discover your fierce, unlock an unstoppable mindset, build unbreakable courage, and completely transform how you show up every single day. Each week, I will bring ideas, methods, and strategies that will inspire you to step into your greatness and live life on purpose. Let's be fit, fierce, and unstoppable. Hey there, gang. Welcome to Find Your Fierce. So glad that you are here with me as we dive into another episode. As always, I am super excited about these next few minutes of her day, but even more so, again, Liz is back with us, and she always brings the fire that you are needing to break through, become inspired, or that little straight talk followed up with love that will kick you into action. But before we go any further, I have to ask if you are needing a speaker for an upcoming event or conference. If so, I'm your person. I would love to bring the Find Your Fierce message to your next function. So to book your event, message me at jill@jillallencoaching.com. And I love that you're here listening in and spending time with us. So honored that I get to be a part of your day. You're just also amazing. And I thank you for your love and support. As always, I appreciate your feedback, your reviews, and I love that you share this podcast and a free message with your friends and family. So if you could keep on doing that, that would be incredible, because you are helping this movement as it helps reach more women and it impacts more lives. And that is certainly what life is all about. So thank you so much again. So like I said, Liz is back.
Hey.
Just a ton of things happening in her world, all so good, all exciting. God is moving big time. And I just love her perspective on life. And I'm excited that she's with us again. Liz, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
Good. Yeah, really good. Fill them in. What has been going on? It's like you have, as if your days weren't full already. Somehow God has opened up more avenues, more doors, more paths, and you are just like on fire. So yeah, fill people in. What's going on?
Just jumping in. Well, I stepped out this summer and took my real estate licensing courses. So I am working my real estate license, and already while in the process of doing that, God opened a door and brought a first client. So I'm fortunate enough, blessed enough to be starting my journey with something behind me, or, a client to help serve. So that's been super awesome. If you were to hear the story of how that even came about, it's totally God thing. So it's just crazy. There's this meme or video of this guy, reaching up to this guy, and he's like, oh, it's holding God's hand. And God's like, yeah, just walk with me, keep holding my hand. And it's real slow. And then all of a sudden they start running, and he's like, keep holding my hand, keep holding. It's kind of how it feels. Yeah. But there's so much confidence and assurance that it's him, and because we're not pushing anything. He's just doing it. So it's exciting. Been working on, just t-shirt designs and working with my daughter with her own little business. So we've just had some things that have been kind of quietly in the works. And now it seems like he's just kind of, here you go. Here's new opportunities. So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Well, it was a long time that this has been building. I just think of like the snowball effect, like just a little bit of a roll. And then here it is, like you're just,
it feels like all at once.
Momentum. Yeah.
It's really, and I think that's so true of life in general. Sometimes we see, again, when somebody else puts out the new thing they're doing, we see like, man, why does it seem like everything happens for them and happens for them so quickly? But what we don't see is all the buildup leading up to. Yes. So my husband's in construction, and we have talked about me getting my real estate license and kind of dreamed about this, had it kind of on our heart for a long time, for years. And truthfully, I've had people encourage me to get my real estate license. Like, this has just been the constant thing spoken, like, seems to come up in my life over and over the years. And I had a friend put it this way. She's like it's been chasing you. And that's kind of how it feels. But every time I would pray about it, I really felt like I had gotten a pause, like, no, it's not season yet, for whatever reason, for various reasons. There were always different things going on. The last 6 years of our life have been a little bit of a whirlwind, with children having health issues and that being time consuming, getting started with homeschooling. I homeschool my 4 girls. And so just different various things going on in our life, that it was like, no, be present here, focus on this, hold on. So it just kept getting this weight, this pause. Even last year I had another opportunity and just really felt like the Lord said, just wait. And I know we kind of touched a little bit last episode on like authentic and being our truth, our real of what's going on internally, and then allowing the Lord to transform that. And I would say the waiting years were not wasted. There was a lot of just being molded and transformed. We'll say that transformed, really understanding my identity, who he says about, says that I am, what he says about me versus what my internal world is, saying and doing, and growing in trust. Truthfully, there's a lot of like, especially through hardship, like, I'd mentioned that we've had some health stuff with different kids and just different things, like all of it, none of it's wasted. All of it grows your trust in the Lord and confidence that he's going to be faithful and come through with what he says he's going to do. And then finally this year here, the opportunity kind of came up again and presented itself. And my husband and I took some time to pray about it. In the meantime, my husband started his own construction company last summer. So we've kind of been in the thick of first year of business, starting.
Yeah.
But we really began to pray about it and just felt like we got so many confirmations, so much green light, so much like you have to kind of thing, like now's the time. Yeah. What surprised me, I will say, is then after years of asking, seeking, and knocking, as the scripture says, and getting like a pause, finally getting the green light, it was like, wait, what? Really? Wait, what? Seriously? And so that shift even internally and then really just taking that by the reins and stepping into courage that like, okay, this is God, this is what I'm, supposed to do. And if not, like, sink or float. I guess if we fail, he's gotcha. Like, and if I miss it, if I'm totally hearing all wrong, he still has me, and just resting in that. So, I had to take the action. The internal side was like, wait a second, what? And it's this shift, but still choosing to push past any fear, questions, anxieties, any of that, to take action, to do it, having self-discipline. I've done school, like work at your own pace, like online, but actually setting a goal of when I needed, I'd like to be done by, and really working towards that and stuff like that. So
accountable. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I say all that to say, like, there's usually a lot going on behind the scenes in somebody's life before the big reveal that we see. And so if that's the space that you're in, know that you're not alone, and everybody else who's now there was in the building behind the scene at one point too. And to really just encourage and champion that, like, he's for you. And if there's something he's put on your heart to do, and you're like, it's time, and it's green light to step into courage, and it might require some self-discipline. It might require some sacrifice and all those things. But if it's what he's asking you to, it'll be, be worth it. So we're still early on, I'm just getting started, but it's been fun to see how him open doors. And sometimes it feels like a hurry up to slow down kind of thing. Like it feels like
he's connecting all the pieces.
Yeah. And it'll feel like everything's going to happen really quick. And then you kind of pause, and there's this hush, and then you hurry up, and then there's a hush. And so anyway, it's been fun and exciting. I'm just, I keep saying, I'm here for the ride, Lord. Like, we'll see what you do.
There's a lot of obedience in that though, as well, in that story of what you just shared, because sometimes, most of the time we don't want to wait.
Yeah.
Or on the flip side is that we use the waiting part as an excuse not to take action. And so it's having that discernment of when to kind of sit back and allow things to work behind the scenes. And then when he's asking us to take that
action
step, to get going. Because I don't know, I sometimes plow through and get it done and force things, right? We're the fixers. We want to make everything work. We're the planners. We want to plan everything out step by step. And it doesn't usually work out that way.
Right.
Sometimes it works out better than than we can imagine. But during that time when we're forcing and putting 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag, it doesn't feel. Well, that's where the stress comes. That's where the overwhelm comes. That's where the anxiety comes. That's where we get all worked up, because it's not possibly, how do we know that? See, right. I talk like that. You talk like there's so many different sides of the story. How do you know when to push through, persevere, and be disciplined and to get it done? Or when is it that, man, maybe it's not the right time?
Yeah. Yeah. We've had this conversation so many times. I feel like the challenge I'm constantly asking, and I don't know. I mean, other than the only thing I can share is from my own personal experience. What works for me is allowing myself to step back and evaluate. Okay. And really just ask the Lord, okay, Lord, there's some challenges or there's some, whatever. Is this, what are you asking? Is it a season of standing and enduring and being firm and pressing through, quote unquote, like pressing through the hardship? Or is this you closing the door saying like, you can't force to happen what I have said is not time to happen, kind of a thing. And I don't have a magic formula.
I know.
I really
it's
don't.
tough.
It's like, it's just talking to the Lord, having that conversation, leaving space for that. And I just believe, I know that he'll reveal it. If you're asking him, he'll reveal it. It'll make sense.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, it feels like it's both. Like he's like the patient enduring kind of does feel like a push too at times, So like, he's like, it's coming. It's just not in this second when you want it. So just wait and see. And anyway, it's a crazy journey of living life with purpose and following,
continuing to build our testimony. Every day.
Life with Jesus.
Man,
it's never boring.
No, it's not. And I think it kind of even goes back to what we talked about last week of just being real with where we are and where God has us in this moment. And we're like at a crossroads all the time.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. The decisions that we need to make and move forward. I just love the fact that a seed was planted years ago.
Yeah.
And that now is a time for action. What you've done and just how things are unfolding. It's just absolutely amazing how that works. I'm sure you're pretty fired up. Yeah,
it's exciting. Feels like a piece to the puzzle coming together. So it's good and all the things. It's all the things, scary or not scary, but like it's new, so unfamiliar and you're not sure. So there's mystery, but there's excitement in the mystery. And it's just really, really more than anything, it's just exciting to see how God has been building it and then opening doors and kind of paving the way, I guess you'd say, like creating opportunity that I couldn't have otherwise created. So,
Well, and what your story, your story is so inspiring too, because you may have an end in sight, like of what you envision and what you see, and a loose game plan. But what's inspiring is you're allowing God to just kind of let that
unfold.
And you're okay with it. And just hearing you over these last few weeks of walking it out and the decisions that you are making of where do you go and where who are you going to team up with and kids in your schooling and what, co-op are you going to go? All of this is just like all the decisions that we are faced with every single day.
Yeah.
I've watched you just hand it over and give it to him. And it's crazy how it all works out.
Yeah, it really does. But honestly, I feel like the only way I could navigate it. Otherwise, I'm like, all the decisions, it feels crushing at times, but there's so much release and relief in releasing it to him and saying, okay, and I don't mean like releasing as an activity. It's just a simple, even, hey, I need your help with this. Like, God, this is a decision I'm faced with. Can you give me wisdom? Can you, because I just really believe like all the things that he's asking of us and calling us into, he's supplied grace to walk it out. Grace meaning his empowering. And so I'm like, I don't want to force things that are me and not him, because I know I'm going to need his empowering. I know I'm going to need, especially as we, increase what we're doing or change and in the change and stuff like that. And it's unfamiliar and new. So it's just been a lot of help. I need wisdom. What's going to make sense? And then it's amazing to see how, as you go about your regular day-to-day life, it's like he just kind of fades away all the things that might not fit or might not work, the decisions that maybe aren't going to be the better choice, and then just puts together the ones that like, this is what's going to fit in this season, and this is what's going to make sense. So that's my encouragement.
It is, and you're rocking it out, and your kids are like, banging on the door wanting their mommy because, again, you homeschool them and all the things. You're doing all the things and you're doing them very, very well. So
thank you.
To you. And I just love that you're here and sharing. And I tell you, if this doesn't get you fired up to take action on the dream that God has put in your heart, I don't know what does, because he has you and, your dreams are worth fighting for. So it's good stuff. So thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. If you guys are wanting even more fire in your day, there's so much for you to do. So you can follow me on Instagram, snag a copy of my book set free on Amazon, join us in the Fit and Fierce or the Flip the Script one-on-one nutrition coaching and the next retreat. 2023 destinations are dropping soon. So stay tuned. Or if you're wanting to do your own road trip, you can hop in our Sprinter van that sleeps up to 5 and hit the open road. Be sure to go to JillAllenCoaching.com for all updates and join the Just Breathe Facebook group. We would love to connect with you. Not sure what is coming up next, but it will be good. So be sure to pop back in next week. Thanks so much for joining us today. And I pray that we filled your heart with joy. If you could let us know before hopping off here today, that would be incredible. Subscribe, share this episode link on your social media if you felt encouraged or inspired, as we all know someone that can benefit. And I would love it if you would give some feedback and a review as well. Talk with you next time. Be fit, be fierce, be unstoppable. See ya.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.